Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Produce Moms Podcast, and my name is Lori Taylor, and I love hosting this show. I say it like all the time, but I really do, because we bring forward the most amazing leaders in the agriculture space, movers and shakers, innovative companies, fierce entrepreneurs, fierce women, and today is no exception. We are welcoming Stephanie Paxton-Johnson. She is a co-owner with her two sisters. Collectively, they are the third generation family ownership of their family business, Kwik Lok. Now, the name Kwik Lok might not mean anything to you as a listener, but I guarantee you this product is in your home. It doesn't matter where you are listening to this podcast, where you're connecting with us from, where you live. You know this product. It's been in your hands, it's been in your home, and it has a very important role in really the entire food supply chain, but most definitely fresh produce. And you know how I love stories of incredible female leadership. And this company, third generation, it's not just female leadership with Stephanie, but she's working hand in hand with her two sisters. The family culture and heritage is thriving and living on through them. It's going to be a great show. And I can't wait for you to learn more about this product that I know you're familiar with, but I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to let Stephanie introduce her family business and introduce herself. Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Lori. It's great to be here.
It's so great to have you. I have so enjoyed getting to know you and our pre-show conversations. You are just exactly the kind of person we love spotlighting on the show. There is so much purpose behind your family business. And, please share more with our listeners now, introductory remarks about yourself and the Kwik Lok product.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you for having us. And again, I also felt the same after our conversation. Walking away and just another woman lifting up another woman is just an amazing feat. And I just really appreciate that. So thank you for having me. Yes, you tantalized your
our listeners. I know it's like, you know this product, but you don't.
Exactly. And definitely people don't know the name of it, being Kwik Lok. But what that product is actually, most people know it as the bread clip. It is the closure that goes around most loaves of bread. That little square closure. Now it's been seen on, bagels to tortillas and rice cakes. It's in the produce department around apples, and it can be around onions and potatoes. And so this little closure, which is just what we feel is such a special story, started with our grandfather, Floyd Paxton, who started Kwik Lok with the invention of this closure back in the 1950s. And he was working with the apple industry in Washington State, and they needed a closure for their apples to be shipped. And so our grandfather invented it in the 50s, and then our father took over, and he was the president for the last 51 years of Kwik Lok, and he took it from a little company in Yakima, Washington, to across the world. We have 6 plants. We are in over 100 countries. And like you say, listeners could be listening from everywhere and probably have seen our product. And we employ a little over 300 people. And we are excited. My sisters and I, our father passed in 2015, and we have started the third generation of this just amazing family business.
Yeah, and that it is. So now everyone knows exactly what this product is, and you're nodding your head because it's absolutely been in your home. It's been in your hands, and so we are excited to have this discussion today. And I'll be honest with you, when the idea to have Stephanie on the show was presented to me by one of her colleagues in the marketing department at Kwik Lok, I was like, well, what the heck are we going to talk about? Like it's just a little clasp, but oh my gosh, it was proven so wrong to me. So I look forward to sharing the culture behind this simple product that is in so many homes, because I was blown away when I learned more about this company and their commitment to making the world a better place through their product line. And that's one of my top passions in this show, is to spotlight the folks that are doing the work that matters the most and supporting the advancement of society at large. So with that, Stephanie, let's dive in. Like your grandpa started the company, and also it's just so beautiful that how you and your sisters, your leadership is a tribute to your father too. There's so much passion in what you all do. It's obvious for folks that know you within the trade, but I look forward to sharing that today on the episode. But so let's kind of start with what's aside from the obvious. How have your closures made a difference in produce?
So, what's really neat about our closures is, and what has been at the core of our business is reliability and safety. And so, our product really helps, produce products, for example, get from the farmers, and the growers to where our customers are. And that is literally nowadays all over the world. And our closure really provides safety. It really helps with actual traceability. People can put on exactly where, the item was grown. And so that can really help out in the world today. And then lastly, it really helps with food waste. And really when you keep the product, safe and secure, you're going to lessen your food waste, which of course lessens a lot of, the climate problems that we do have with food waste.
That's right. And less handling too. I mean, when you say food safety and the traceability, like the stuff that's printed on the actual Kwik Lok, and we have episodes in the archives that speak to the traceability, but really just kind of like the common sense thing that I appreciate as a consumer. It's like, okay, a lot of people's hands haven't been on this. And I think that's undoubtedly, more of a desirable marketing trait in food than it ever has been, coming on the heels of the 2020, pandemic that we're still kind of navigating.
For sure. Exactly.
Yeah. So how did 2020 and the pandemic affect Kwik Lok?
So, you know what, it was really interesting. As you saw with the pandemic, people really were about, grab and go, right? I mean, to get into your, if you're able to get into your grocery stores and, for a small amount of time and really get what you need. And so, we actually saw, a lot of our products, with our consumers, go off the shelves quickly, which was, we actually had a nice benefit during this. But what also we saw is, for example, the restaurants, obviously produce that was going to them had to be diverted. Because obviously they had to close down and they had to be repackaged. And what was really neat is our company came in and really helped of that repackaging of food to get it to people in need. And one of the examples that's really neat to share is it just in our Yakima, Washington area, we worked with a Northwest Harvest, and they were the distribution of like collecting big bulk of produce, of potatoes and onions and apples that were gonna, go to waste because they weren't going to be able to be at the restaurants. And we were able to offer 2 of our machines that could break down those huge bags of bulk into more sizable
Like a household size.
Exactly. So we could get it to people in need and really not waste, and then really help get, the food to where it's really needed. And that we feel very blessed that we were able to help that way in the pandemic.
Yeah, it's so important. And just to kind of clarify on Stephanie's remarks, I mean, what is sent and packaged for food service, oftentimes you're talking a 50-pound bale of onions. Chefs go through that. Restaurants can easily go through that. Not too many households are interested in bringing in 50 pounds of onions at once. And we certainly don't have the storage, set up for that kind of bulk purchasing of fresh goods. So when we say break it down into household sizes, we're taking that big 50-pound bale and turning it into the sizes that you're familiar with from the grocery store, 2, 3, 5-pound, maybe a 10-pound bag.
Yes. And then we were able to have it then closed with a Kwik Lok, so it could obviously be safe and secure, and people could come and pick up the smaller amounts.
Yeah, that's great. So there's a program, and it goes with your commitment to sustainability, and it's important to have those, especially as a company where your product is a plastic product. So tell our listeners more about Eco-Lok and why you're so excited and committed to this program.
Yes. Well, I mean, again, as a plastics company, that was a great solution back in the 1950s, right? And as we're seeing as more contemporary times, that plastic is kind of worn out its, good reasoning. And so we're, as a third generation, we came on and definitely wanted, knowing we was our plastics company, we wanted to really mitigate our impact on the earth. That was very important to my sisters and I, and being part of the solution. And so one of that was to obviously look at our products and our closure. And we debuted a little over, it'll be 2 years, our Eco-Lok. And what's really neat about that is it is made with a starch resin, which is predominantly out of corn and potato.
Okay.
Is in the lock now, which we were able then to use 20% less traditional plastic in our closure and substitute it with this plant-based starch. And
Very
that
good.
right there lessens the impact on carbon. It lessens the impact on manufacturing. And so we're really excited about that, and really have seen already some great results with people switching over to the Eco-Lok and their impact on the environment.
That's great. And for households, is it called out when it's an Eco-Lok, or is it like we might not know if we're getting the traditional Kwik Lok or the Eco-Lok?
Well, that is, we've left that up to the companies that are buying.
That makes sense.
The company, the product. However, one of our great customers, Fran's Bakery, which is a mostly West Coast bakery, all their products are Eco-Lok, and so their name Fran's is on their product. Also, Dave's Killer Bread is another one that's pretty well known, probably to your.
It's like my absolute favorite bread, Stephanie. It's the best.
Yes. And so they switched over to Eco-Lok, which we're really excited. So it's a slow uptick, but we're excited, and we are continually innovating on this Eco-Lok. This is our 1.0. We're definitely going to be innovating for Eco-Lok 2.0 and keep on getting better and better at what we're doing.
Yeah, you guys have, like I said earlier, I mean, there's a lot of commitments to goodwill within your corporate structure. So tell us a little bit more about some of the other things that you're doing, the Fresh Start Initiative, and, the things that I know that we spoke in some of our pre-show conversations about Kwik Lok's commitment to, stopping human trafficking. So anything along those lines that you'd also like to share, I'd love for you to share them with our audience. Yeah.
So when we were talking, which was great earlier, is, telling the story of this industry, has been around, or our company's been around for 67 years. As you know, working in the industry, it's very male dominant. And so for us three sisters to come on the last 6 years, has been revolutionary, right? I mean, we're definitely pushing against the buck. And we've been really excited about adding, again, a female voice to this whole, all these different conversations, which is really needed. We're talking to moms who are really doing most of the buying, right? Who are taking care of their families, who are busy, who, really want to have value for their dollar, but also, I believe, want to know the brands that they're buying, are thinking about the planet and people and their communities. And that is what my sisters and I really have focused on in the last 6 years. And so when we started, we really wanted to align our company's values with every decision that we made. And our values are doing the right thing for our people. Human rights are really important to us, taking care of the planet, giving people good quality of life, taking care of our communities is really important to us. And looking through all of our supply chains, like you talked about, we're really excited to, are just about to sign and certify that all of our supply chain is 100% free of human trafficking. And that's really amazing. Important.
It's incredibly important, because I am assuming that you source product from several places around the world.
Definitely all over the world. And so we really are asking our suppliers, to commit to the same value. And if you want to work with us, this is what we are, leveling, our part in the world to make happen. And so that's really exciting. I think
it's amazing. And Stephanie, I've talked to a lot of different entrepreneurs, a lot of different businesses, and a ton of people who are doing incredible things that I would put under the umbrella of sustainability. You're the very first company and brand that I even know of that's done this with their supply chain and with their product line. I applaud you and I thank you. And I think that so many of our listeners, feel the same way, for sure.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, we feel really proud, and, we're not done. We're not even close to being done, which is, the other thing I remember sharing with you is what was important for my sisters and I was, outside of, the products that we're making to be intentional and to be good for the earth, that we're always going to be innovating. That's where we started from, was innovation. We really also want to be good stewards to our communities and the people in our world. And so our philanthropic giving is very strategic also in helping out again, the values that we have. And so we have been able to give back to a lot of farm organizations. Farmers really have
sure been without them, where are any of us really,
And with this, latest pandemic, we really focused our last year on COVID related, needs, and farming was a huge one. And another thing that we did is we also signed for responsible labor practices. We're starting to charter and endorse that, from our company, showing that that's a value of ours. And that was adopted by that Produce Marketing Association, this responsible labor practices that we believe in.
That's great.
And so we just really realize, or what we're really standing for is, our company is not just about making our products. Obviously, that's important to us. We want to have solutions for our customers, but we have a chance to have impact in all different areas through our company. And that has been something that just gets me out of bed. I'm so excited to be part of this company and where it's going and what it's done so far, just in the short 6 years that we have been leading it.
Right. No, I definitely know. I really, honestly, Stephanie, I haven't followed your company the way I have since meeting you. And I think a lot of people, whether they're trade minded or consumer minded, will, feel the same way after, connecting more with this episode and all the great storytelling, marketing, sustainability initiatives and more that you and your sisters are committing to. But I definitely, just after our very first conversation, I was like, this woman, this company, they're going places big time, best days ahead, and there's a lot of, I don't know if it's a myth or a saying, but a lot of people say that third generation leadership can be cursed. And I say with confidence, not in the case of Kwik Lok and these dynamic Paxton sisters, no way.
No, that's very kind of you. And that is true. I mean, third generation, it's less than 1% that actually survive. And so we feel, obviously honored, blessed to continue this amazing legacy that started with our grandfather, then our father, that we can take it on and we can even add this company to be something that we didn't even dream of. And that is so exciting. And to be doing that, right, I said, linking arms with my sisters and also, linking arms with other people like yourselves that, just want to, as you say, make the world a better place by us being in it. What is our part in that? And we are all about that.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell. And that's why I'm so confident about your future. But any remarks that you'd like to share about what's ahead or what's coming with the Kwik Lok program and team?
Well, I mean, for us, just even exciting is yesterday, my sister, our middle sister, took over as chairman of the board.
Oh, wow.
And that's a huge, seismic change, as we say.
That's huge in agriculture, period, to have a female chairman of the board.
Exactly. So that happened less than, about 24 hours ago. Wow. That took place and she ran her first board meeting and everybody on our board is so excited and what she brings, and how to get the best out of all people. I mean, she's really creative that way and dedicated. And so the energy that's happening and you got engaged employees is, really exciting. And so that's, a real major one that just happened. When, everything starts to open more, we're excited to get back to some of the trade shows where we're going to be debuting some new up and coming innovations that we have been and continually work on. So that's going to be exciting. Good.
And I know that the process improvements, like you mentioned earlier, EcoLock this is 1.0. You are charging ahead to make the world a better place and improve all of your sustainability practices and promises to your internal team, to your customers, and to moms like me and all of our listeners. So, Stephanie, this has just been such a joy. I'm very thankful that we've gotten to know each other. I love your story. This is a scratch of the surface, folks, for what Kwik Lok is all about. But it is cool to hear from, leadership and the family that started this. And I told Stephanie when we were preparing for this episode, I said, it kind of reminds me of one of the shows from way back in the archives, Emily Corrigan with the Corrigan Misting Systems, episode 30, for those of you who have been with us for a long time. But it's really neat when the female leadership takes over and how the company evolves. And I look forward to the future. Kwik Lok, you can learn more at their website. It's kwiklok.com. It's spelled KWIKLOK.com. And with that, Stephanie, I thank you for being here, and you get our closing remarks. So anything that you'd like to leave our listeners with and sign us off from the show, please.
Oh, thank you. I guess I would just sign off knowing who, most of your listeners are, is I'm a mom also. And it has been just a personal value of mine to have access. And I am hugely passionate about eating more produce, more fruits, more vegetables. And as a mom, I was really nervous, as my daughter would eat not those things. And I was like, oh my gosh, how can I, get them interested? And I have to say, my daughter's 19 now. And the foundation that I just kind of modeled about having, all the colors of the rainbow and being that something, whether it be in a smoothie, whether that be, we did these really cool grazing trays. It's actually kind of I call it a hack. It's the cupcake holders, right? Where you put your cupcakes in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We use that. I don't know if you heard the grazing tray. I put carrots in there and tomatoes and, peanut butter and, all these little ways to, beautifully, eat fruits and vegetables. And just kind of laying that foundation. And at 19, she is just making beautiful food. And so I just want to say to all moms that, keep doing what you're doing, keep showing up with eating and, modeling, getting fresh, real food, in our families. And, the seeds have been planted, as they say,
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to Lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.